make it back in some. Post that 120K, I bet you call my phone.
Oh hey everyone, glad you could join me for another review. Oh yeah, just ignore what's going on in the background. It's just that the team is freaking out because we don't have a gag for today's intro, so now I have to make time by casually talking to you for 30 seconds. Oh, what was that? The baby dropped a new album? Oh, sorry, I don't listen to fucking garbage, nigga. Turn that shit off. But what I can tell you is that the Chicago rapper Lucki has dropped his new project Flawless Like Me, being it makes a heavy 808s and trap sound to be a breakout for the upcoming rapper. Alright, so going throughout this project, it's pretty solid, but I'm not really getting too much out of it if I'm being honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has some bangers such as Geeked and Blessed and 13, but aside from that, this project mainly feels like a bloated mess of repetition and nothing to really separate itself from the rest. I mean, for 24 tracks, it's only really the first 10 to 13 tracks that really capture my attention, and then the finishing half just feels like I'm listening to the same song over and over, not really bringing anything to the table in terms of musical longevity. Yeah, we get some pretty basic bars from Lucki throughout this project though, mainly just rapping about getting women, doing drugs, and getting money, which is something I've heard multiple times over, this time just being put with these heavy 808s and trap beats to make for some easily digestible songs. But I do have to acknowledge his flow in this project though, although he isn't the strongest lyricist, his style does create some good vibes when listening to these tracks, which I guess can be important when you're not a more lyric heavy rapper, unless we're talking about the track DNA. They were just going to get a quick story about how Lucki is on drugs just like his auntie, so there's that. But as stated before, the main issue for me is just really how long this project is, seeming like it could have been shortened down to like 15 of the best tracks, due to the ending half including the bonus tracks not really doing anything for me aside from being background noise and not really adding anything special to the album either. But as for the production, you could also say it was a bit repetitive, mainly relying on a loud and heavy 808s and those trap hats to carry some of these songs, with the more interesting beat being on the track Capital Denim, which seemed to mainly fit the accompanying feature Future instead of Lucki, which I guess is why I felt like Lucki was low-key being carried. But I'd also like to acknowledge the track White House, really utilizing the trumpet sound and heavy bass. That definitely caught my attention as well and made it one of my more favorite tracks from this album. But when it comes down to it, a lot of these beats don't really hold any weight above each other, seeming to be on the same scale in terms of quality and overall vibe for just about anyone to really get into without thinking about it too hard, I guess. But then there's the vocal mixing on this project as well, with Lucki's voice either being drowned out by the beat, which is a big pet peeve of mine when listening to music, or it kind of feeling like his vocals were recorded off of an iPhone 6. And I don't know if it's just me, but that's been a weird theme for a lot of hip hop albums I've listened to for a while now, with them just not being able to find that proper balance between the vocals and the beat, so it doesn't feel like I'm listening to someone rap with a microphone 10 feet above their head, or it feel like they just slapped a bunch of shit together and put it in some online mastering software and called it a day. But as for the features, it was only just two, with Future and Babyface Ray hopping on their tracks Capital Denim and White House, with Future mainly being a star of the show for me personally. See, I said it before, he honestly did carry the track while it just felt like Lucki was lagging behind, and this wasn't even one of Future's top verses, seeming like something I could have heard in his own project I Never Liked You. But as for Babyface Ray, aside from the song itself being pretty short, he didn't really do too much for his respective track either, but it was neat to see him go back and forth with Lucki on one of my more favorite beats from the project. But overall, this album wasn't really anything to hold up in terms of album of the year discussions, but for what it's worth, it has some easily digestible tracks and a solid flow from Lucki. I mainly just wish he would have tried to branch out a bit and cut down on their track list to make this seem less like a drag to listen to. So to put this on a scale, I'm giving this a high 5 out of 10, being something that'll probably wash away as the weeks go by. But how do you guys feel about Lucki's latest project? What would you rate it? Let me know down in the comments by liking and subscribing, follow my IG and Twitter, and follow the art as well if you like the illustrations. But on that note, I'll see you on Monday when I have absolutely nothing funny to say, ever. Peace.
Hang in there, my brother.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Where am I? I'm hanging here, fun. Get me out of here. This is... Whoa, I was in Narnia before and now I'm in here, hanging. Fucking hell, lad. Someone put me on. I've been in here for weeks. Go on, I'll be a good one for you. You look good in me. Go on, just put me on. Just fucking put me on. You put them all the other ones on. You didn't put me on though, did you? Why don't I ever get used? I could be a sound one.
Hey, Lloyd.